I'm not surprised.
To Amenoma Smithy.
Smithy!
Ah, it's been a while.
Pardon me, I'd like to ask a question, if I
Of
may.
course. Go ahead.
About the Raiden Gokuden. Could you tell me the story?
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma,
Perhaps we're
Futsu,
just blind.
Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But
Depressing.
fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh, yeah, we were. Paimon remembers that now. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
What was the reason for their decline?
That,
Bullying.
my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth.
Because
There is
doesn't
no
know the
harm in
truth.
telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale.
Everything is
Raiden
depressing
Gokuden
in Inazuma at
were
this
the
point.
targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
I don't know, maybe for
400
vengeance?
years ago, so
Somebody
I'm
call
told,
Eula.
there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out.
The first
Smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphan son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent up anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all
That's fine,
of the
honestly.
Raiden Gokuden. But
I'm
when he
just
came
playing
to
the
the
quest at this
Kaedehara
point,
and
just sitting there
Kamisato
watching
clans,
a movie.
his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
The legend of the Riding Goken has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmith. It looks like the battle deer did something in Ermin's soul, but it seems Niwa still died.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuha recently?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Phew, so he still exists and he is the same Kazuha I know. Things do not seem as bad as I feared last night. How would we still know he's the same as before? We haven't seen him yet. That's all, thank you.
My pleasure.
You're
Don't
right, it is.
tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Look for the objective. The hell?
We're here. This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hello. Have I ever spoken with you
If
before?
you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Thank you. We'll take you up on that offer. Can we take a walk in the
If it
courtyard?
were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Ma'am, can I ask you a couple of questions? I'm interrogating everybody here.
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know?
How are the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato these
Oh,
days?
they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual on the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
So still the Ashiro Commissioner Ayaka is still the lady of the house, no changes here. As far as I can see, nothing changed in the Ashiro Commission either. I was expecting as much, but it's still a big relief to know that Kamisato siblings are both safe and
Well?
well.
Got any more questions?
That's all for now.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you.
So Ayaka
I
is a
must
fangirl.
say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
I'm flattered.
I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine here. They say it's because Toma's a much better chef than most. Oh, the commissioner is so fond of home comforts. They get to
Who isn't,
talking
honestly?
about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends around whom one can truly be themselves. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had, you always get a mention. It's been
Oh my
many
God.
years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet a dependable
Yeah,
friend whose
old people.
company they enjoy so
Quiet,
much.
please, let me go.
So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Thank you very much. I'll visit again. No, I won't. We
Wonderful.
both know that. I won't.
Thank you.
I'm leaving.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really great.
Yeah, I forgot about her thinking with her stomach again.
Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of
She backtracked
course.
quickly.
You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
Tarazuna.
Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
I hope not. Let me go.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
His voice does not fit him. I was expecting a darker voice and he sounds like a 5-year-old. I think is everything fixed. Like, yes, now please let me go. And I'm back into running in here. Attack!
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler in Paimon?
Xavier? What are you doing here?
Xavier? I thought it was Xavier. Xavier. I don't know what I thought at this point. I see words and I just walk away.
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know much about the Tarazuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How well do you understand the history of this area?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have
Let me
been
guess,
here a
you're
good
not
many
gonna tell
times
me?
before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Go on, I'm listening.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm
Start
told that its
speaking.
history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then, too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Mechanics, so it looked like the doctor still sabotaged the finish, leading to
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already.
I am.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither.
Neither did I.
Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. So, can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you heard about a kabuki mono? Kabuki kimono. Sure. Connected to
A
Tatarasuna.
kabuki mono?
That word.
No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman, for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
Pretty cool. Huh. Snyggt så. Did the battle here revert everything back to the way it was. The very majority of changes are only affected
Of
himself.
course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for.
Time to go back and see a lesser Lord Kusanali.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will
What I'm
always
gonna
be there
have with
for you.
dessert today? I don't know. Cake? Chocolate pudding? Is this something weird or normal? Chico kan lage sleike på teppet. Hjertelig. Everything. So the exact same thing I did not mention. Alright, thank you,
Hey,
Paimon.
don't mention it.
I don't know.
Let's head
Could
off
be
and go meet
weird to
Vegeta.
somebody else while normal to you. And pickles.
Hey,
I
it's
like
them.
pickles, but I don't know in that one. You know, in that sense. Scene.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
We're still talking about the essay.
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
Does this mean more reading for
We
me?
have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
Please, no. These are
The same
some of my.
topic we discussed last
I
time.
hate you.
Obviously.
I hate this. I hate this quest. Fuck this.
Still
No.
looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Perfect is to have researched Tatarasuna's past. And hear what they have to say.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
No, I cannot read it again. The article that you let me read last time was great.
Oh, of course.
No more reading. The content has changed. Other And tampering with the information. Norman's all.
Well, what do you think?
A masterpiece!
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Sure. Did we learn something?
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Tell the two riders that to learn about riding Goku.
Wow. So many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
Is that Toucan in the background okay? He does not look okay. And now he's jumping again. Is it because he can't get over the railing?
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
We've got some things to take care of, so bye for now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you
As per
so
usual.
much for the information.
Just like every other
Welcome.
NPC.
See ya.
Let me
Keep
walk
us in the loop if
away.
you find out anything else.
Will do.
Like yesterday.
Nahida, we're here. Traveler, Paimon, how have you been? Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then she decided she wanted to go to Inazuma.
I was investigating the situation with the balladeer.
The balladeer?
Of course you don't know.
some kind of code name.
Oh no. She can't fix something she doesn't remember.
Troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Even Nahida doesn't remember, just like last time, and it changes to Ermon's soul affects her as well. The balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers the things that were erased. Once again, I'm the record keeper.
Traveler?
Yeah, what do you want?
What's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth. There were once one named Balladeer created by the Elector Archon. He was a puppet who lived among men. Well, bye, Zeke. Oh, see you next time, I guess. Or I'll see you in your stream. That. Oh. Have a good night, anyway. The series of events into Tarsuna, the Balladeer, thinking he had been twice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans, the only loathing for the gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew his strength, then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with the Gnosis and ended up losing everything. Well, and good luck with the quest. Finally entered Dormisol and learned the truth behind his betrayal, knowing now that his entire life was built on lies. He did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past. But how was he even able to do that? As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect her. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
You can say that again.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I'm really not sure. We were enemies after all. I don't know his perspective on all this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything or save someone, or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him his answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Urukadavata erase her own existence, but I can't tell Nahida that. To put it all another way, I know why the Balladeer was sure it could work, but I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
He chose such a radical option, and yet...
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yes.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense. Every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends.
Apparently he doesn't need that much strength to, play God in this world.
It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Yeah, it changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. It was fated to a tragedy and to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayal in his life, or did he wish he'd never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
And why didn't you do this to begin with?
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Hold on, does that mean that she can remember Urukadavata? If she actually were to know that she existed at one point and then go looking for her. Maybe that resembles a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I
I
said.
authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes.
Yes. Any
It's not the past,
information
it's
about
the
the
past, it's
balladeer
past.
or the kabuki mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler
She helped
into
and she didn't
Irminsul
even
with the
know she did
balladeer
it.
must have been
That's
a
great.
further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. The now erased life of the balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster
We
found a
actually get to see
family
a
of foxes,
full-blown fairy tale.
joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us.
The glasses I can understand, but how does the
Furious
stick
at this
work?
happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice.
Like I said,
A gray
the
fox
only way to
stood
fix
up and
things is,
addressed the monster.
human
It
sacrifice.
said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The
This is
fire
depressing.
was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good.
Well, again,
Never
that's
again
depressing.
would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
Why did it look so uplifting at the end?
I remember now.
not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with.
Oh.
Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use.
Smart thinking.
I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
So you knew this would happen, basically.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion.
Fair.
Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world.
Do we need to call Dane for this?
We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
I feel like I never had this feeling before. It feels like life is as insignificant as a feather.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us.
Of course it does.
So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination.
Yeah,
we
all saw how that ended, apparently.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
A heavy conversation.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her head?
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
For a walk it is then.
Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
Hey, yo, Kneeler. What do you know?
We're here. What should we eat first?
I'm dying feeling like there's something I'm missing. Something important that I'm forgetting.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, I just give me a minute. I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, Brandon, let's dig this out. It's gotta be in there somewhere. It was something about Irminsul. Great Lord Rukadawata, forbidden knowledge, Nahida.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
No, I haven't. Yes, that was it. Great Lord Rukadawata said that no one can erase themselves from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deleting for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about Greater Lord Urukadavata. This is a crucial important detail. not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence. In which case, the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Panic! Panic!
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? The work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss.
Why are you so useless?
I think
like
you're
this?
right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
That guy is the Balladeer.
Who?
He's
You're
not
a
who, he
strange
is the
one,
Balladeer,
kiddo.
buddy.
You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome,
And you're useless,
I guess.
apparently.
But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually.
No, he
You
didn't.
don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's
Prison,
right,
maybe?
I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Scara, get back here. Stop disappearing all the time.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Maybe that's what I need to teach him a lesson. Take his Sunsetias.
Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
As you can see, I would never have believed it.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us.
It's not that hard to see us, though.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
You're right, we were following.
Have we met before?
How big are the Sunsetias?
No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yes, I do.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
I'm nodding, so yes.
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Come on, didn't you see this guy's memories? You should have seen him being a puppet by now.
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people.
Well, you kind of didn't share it with us either. Kind of bullied your
Look,
mom.
I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
There's somewhere I want to take you.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Now
Yes,
we're going into work
I ran
ethics.
into him out in the wilderness during a storm. and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Alright.
Then let's return to the city.
Kind of. Did we even leave the city? Like, literally out a meter away.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
So kind. What is this?
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
Scram, kid.
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it.
Stubborn, okay?
But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry?
Don't have to hurry everywhere.
But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't... No, you're right.
Paimon, can you go away, please? Like, everywhere.
Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
We were basically just standing there staring at people, so... Naida, I'm back.
Nihira!
And I brought my
What's
boy.
wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello.
Why is she on the computer?
I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
Are you supposed to
We
apologize
found
for
this
that?
guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You say that you're trekking across to Vat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you
Shugenja.
refer to yourself as a wanderer?
What is that name?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots.
It's not dead plants.
But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
I guess in one way it would fit, honestly.
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation?
A complete another asshole.
Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
We're just trying to think where to start.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear.
Maybe worse.
But I'll be able to handle
to
it.
hear.
Please, tell me the truth.
This is so sorrowful.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike.
That's
You
one way to
drifted from
explain it.
place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Who needs to be happy? Happiness is overrated
I
at this
gave
point.
everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
Depressing?
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
Here comes the consequences of my own actions.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
Honestly, you're not now either.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
We were each other's enemies.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
Well,
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street!
you
He's got so
met on
much
the
to
street.
answer for,
Random
but
for you.
we can't make him talk
We know.
because he doesn't remember anything. What a weird situation.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
Mental
Just a
health. Who needs
puppet
to care about that?
with
This
no
point.
heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Fair enough. It's kind of our fault, as per usual.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Okay.
Oh,
Babysitting
good
it is.
point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
This looks like
Inkuching with
Inazuma.
us.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Yes.
Sounds like an immersive experience.
Who needs to be careful?
It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
I'm not protecting
We
you.
never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
You were just finishing the job.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
The
Is that
Shake
because
Pavilion.
this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could
In a
say
way.
that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
Because in a
I
way, you
hear
can think of it.
footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Huh. Not a scratch.
Are you injured?
And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
You just
And
kidnapped
the
him,
rest is
basically.
history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna,
hiatus.
responsibility for what had
You need a
happened
break.
fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face.
Wrong
Why
button
couldn't
again?
he live a long and happy life?
It would have been fun if you could have seen a, just ballad wanderer just laying on the floor. Fine, I'll go down. Attack! I see chests. Attack!
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
That's fine with me.
Oh no.
Katsuragi,
Stuff.
report to
Oh no.
Niwa.
I made a mistake.
We have someone new joining us.
Okay, never mind. I'm free. Wait, what? Starred? Excuse me? Oh no. Shocking. I think I made a mistake. I'm willing to sacrifice. Sacrifices had to be made. Nope, nothing. I have to check everything. What is this? What kind of fucking... What? What kind of demon spawn is this? Down we go.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
I heard voices.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty.
So you brought the kid
But
back to
there's nobody
this
here.
pavilion. Stop coughing.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died. And then my dad got sick.
Why does this kid look so different from, the cutscene? The YouTube video.
He kept
see him
coughing
talking.
all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
No
But
coughing
you
runs in the
can't.
family.
You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, The balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey!
That's dark.
What's wrong? Say something!
Calm down. There's no need to
You
react.
promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
He kind of kicked the dirt, so... Not like he could answer that himself.
The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
Next one's probably the Inazuma one, right? Where we run into them. Or the one with the 5 Kalsen thing. Kaza's ancestor. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I nearly made Kuching a permanent fixture here. What is this? Where's the enemy?
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will.
Umara.
Or you could
As you
continue
just-
to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Don't blink!
So it's the Jester's fault that he ended up in doing.
My apologies!
This isn't good. Well met.
Basically.
You're backed into it. Don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun.
Take flight!
Get out of my way.
Incoming!
please.
With sword comes shadow.
Thank you.
Miscalculated.
Sometimes I wish I could just pick up this. Yeah, that's us next time. We bullied him
This
again.
place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
Yeah, well, we kind of was here. I remember this. It was an unsettling place.
Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny
Yeah, for
how
somebody who's
negotiating
vicious.
never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so,
Mailed.
but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely
child's not
lighting
dead.
a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else.
Scaramouche's here, like eyes here, are more purple, while the Wanderers are more blue.
By then,
I've been thinking about it all day.
See you at the victory feast.
Which ended up being a funeral which none of you attended.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget
Soon to be dead at this point?
Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
And that's us.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yeah, we kind of just glossed over a few
Yes.
details, you know, but...
Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
You need to die quickly.
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Blink!
Keep nearly killing Star.
Nowhere to hide.
Over here.
Die!
Take flight.
Thank you. Alright. Mother with the grave. Thank you. Jesus.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
The god
Considering
wannabe?
that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
Yeah, it took like
The
war.
biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the
Fair
most
enough.
resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after
Information of
that, you were
what?
under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person
he is
gives off a very sinister energy.
It's a doctor, he's behind all
It's
this.
normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Well, then again, that doesn't take
Let's
much.
move on.
Continue exploring. Is there anything here? Fine, never mind. Är det garnet Gutman?
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
And it'll go
I've
back
always
to being an
believed that
asshole?
human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
In the meaning of Grey Lord, a person can't erase himself even though he originally Ballier is gone. This person will live in his place. Our person's sins escape part of their destiny too.
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
No. Sit your ass down.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
That's one way to do it.
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here?
It's depressing.
You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
Apparently we have bigger problems. Bigger fish to fry, apparently. Please give the traveler a different blade. Don't blade it.
Hey! Are you done yet?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Apparently he's not done with you. So no. ground again. And our boy got a vision. Oh wait, I guess both, I guess.
Die.
Yep, well there, he's back.
This is trying my patience.
Yeah, I don't remember the mechanics of this fight.
Have you got any more stupid?
No.
At my command, you shall fall.
Please don't. This is gonna take a while. One. No. I don't have time for your attitude now, please.
Insignificant pest.
Please stop.
The wind rises.
My endless cycle begins. You dare to gaze upon me?
Yes, I do. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I made a mistake. I made a goddamn mistake here. Hold on. Nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. Never gonna hit. Nothing ever happened. I never got hit with anything. Please die. Oh, but
how amusing. Insignificant pest.
Squall and Fury.
That's far enough. People, human, know your place.
Oh, thank God.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
Oh, is this over? Not again.
Disappeared. Did we win?
Kinda anticlimactic.
What did you
but,
expect? I'd never lose to that.
And the asshole is back.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
The past will catch up with you.
You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't
I'm
worry.
not.
Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to
one way
have
to
been
do
a
it.
success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
I was
Welcome
expecting
back,
a bigger
traveler.
fight.
Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
From doing nothing. And he's
You don't like being addressed by
grumbling
that
again.
name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
You won't go by Balladeer anymore?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him.
Fair
I'm not
enough.
planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the Sixth is.
Fair.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Let's call it a tactical retreat. Yeah, let's save the guy's pride.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanagi.
And his ego.
Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
Still happened.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that.
You kind of have
Changing
to.
the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Well, he did in a
Even
way
if I'm
get a
completely worthless,
new
there's
star.
nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Fair enough. A smaller
Very
doctor, but
clever.
nicer.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
It's kickable.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Nahida doesn't see you in that way.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that.
All that.
Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
So his ego lives on and is thriving.
I'm
That's
glad
good to
you're
know, I
able
guess.
to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered.
So basically she's
Including the
Googling
beginning
us.
of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Thank you, let's hope you can find some answers.
I will try.
Because
Traveler.
Dane's leaf is nowhere to be found, apparently. What do you want?
After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know what you'd changed.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
Please don't make it sound like I'm extortioning you.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
Again, do not take relationship from this
A
guy.
relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some
Oh, that's
things
a
in this
letdown.
world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
That's one way to say it, and
But humans
she's
can't live
actually
without a
saying
heart,
something
can
good.
they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand
Well,
what
being a
pain
human
is perfectly
sucked.
well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
I hope you can give Nahida a chance.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Be useful, okay? That's how things are done, apparently.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
I guess we didn't give the guy much choice.
Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you too.
Why?
Why an ugly nickname for everybody? Stop it.
Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
You know, nobody likes you either, so.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
Can I switch
A name is life's first gift.
Scar with, you know,
You didn't
Paimon?
say it out loud, but I know that's what you're
Floating
thinking.
Scar. That would have been ridiculous. Never mind.
The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
Huh? You want us to decide?
Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
So it's my problem now.
Have you got anything?
Name rules cannot. You can obtain data on an appellation stroke from the archon quest interlude. Eon's Drift. Now the animal name. Please take note that some names cannot be utilized in this change. Once you rename this character interface in the game going forward will display the name you choose. There's a limit on the number of times you can rename this character, so do so with care. Sure. I have the goddamn perfect name. Swoosh. Swoosh it is.
You sure?
Yes, I am. No. Yes, I think this will do. Swoosh it is.
If you say so.
Swoosh it is.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
I can't. Swoosh it is. What do you plan to do next?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
The swoosh is coming for you.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
I guess the
Now that
Fatui
your
itself
stance has
didn't do
changed,
anything.
I believe
Just
your
the
future
Fatui did
path
it.
will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing.
What do you want, Swoosh?
There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
That's fair.
I see.
Honestly.
That is up to you.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
Now what
It's
time
fine.
on?
Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been.
I got to name your Swoosh, so no.
What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing. That day will come. All right.
And hopefully it's by me.
We're done
Swoosh.
here. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
I'm still hearing him walk, so he's not that far.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
And the fact that I named him Swoosh.
True. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
There were some bumps along the way, but it's all over now.
So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Of course, that's the first thing she
Thank you
thinks of.
both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
Please stop thinking with your goddamn stomach. And I guess that's it. Never mind.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because
one more
everyone
time,
else
I
in the
will quit the
story
game.
is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue.
Fair. Would fit.
The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
Wise words. And here we have Swoosh again. I will never let that name be forgotten.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back.
Where's that Paimon?
Wow, great! Huh? Look at that vase.
What about it?
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
That night Paimon bumped into the table after being startled by something to do with the balladeer and broke the vase. The balladeer erased its existence, changed the world, so why did
You sound lost and confused.
Alice? Alice, is that you?
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh?
Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. Like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
The voice has disappeared.
Who the hell was that?
And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
Believe my eyes, does she mean I should trust my memories?
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go
It's
get
in
someone to clean it up?
5
Feels
pieces.
wrong just
Pick
leaving
it up.
there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
I wonder what else awaits me in the future. Could it have been the